And a lot of times, like going back to what he said, like you just want to help people. A lot of times you have to be careful who you help because, you know, everybody has karma. So, you know, like we said in the past, you know, you don't really end a cycle until you really learn the cycle.
Right.
So, like, if you help somebody who's in that process of learning that cycle, you're stopping them from really ending
So
it.
true.
You see what I'm saying? So, like, you have to be careful who you help because sometimes those people deserve that. As hard as it may seem to our eyes, like, we're seeing, like, damn, you don't deserve that. But you don't know what that person went through in their past life, or you don't know what they're going through now, or what they did to put them in that predicament.
Exactly.
You gotta let them suffer.
You gotta let them, but you have to be careful.
Yeah.
Because you have to know if you should help them, or if they need to really go through that.
Yes, sir.
You can kill me somewhere ballin' on my ex. I'm getting money, I ain't responding to your text. I can never let a bitch see me sweat. Fuck a little life, bitch, you know I'm blessed. And I'm still getting money, ain't no changing. When you block me, I take that as entertainment. When I turn up, I know that's gonna make you angry. In my bed, so I'm feeling kinda dangerous. I'm so glad I got my own. Still getting money with the team.
What's up? This is the ChoppedByT podcast where we get real, raw, authentic barbershop conversations. I'm your host, T. And to the very far right of me, we got my brother in the building, my bodyguard, man. Tell him what's up, Sco.
What up?
And in the middle, we got a special guest.
Hey, I'm
Christine.
TK, Christine.
TK? You wanna go by TK? Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, either way, we'll go TK. That's actually a little easy.
Okay.
You know, I want to get right into it. We've been stalking your page a lot, looking around and everything, and we seen that you do poetry.
Yes, I do.
And I'm a poet myself. I don't know if I had to make sure I put the book right here. Little plug, shameless plug right here. This is my very first book. I self-published it. It's called The Cursed Ones, and I got The Cursed Ones too. So I do a little poetry myself. First, before we even get into all of that, I want to hear a little bit about you, your life. You are Christine. You come from so on and so forth. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm Christine. I come from Nashville. My parents, they're not from here. My dad, he's Cuban. My mom's Costa Rican. And, you know, I just grew up in that household. And I've been writing poetry since I was, like, in middle school. I just felt like it was a good outlet for me. So then I kind of threw it away in high school. And I just, like, deleted everything, threw away everything that I ever written. And I didn't start back up until I came to college. And then my freshman year. So I was trying to look for, you know, people like me, poets and stuff. And then I found some people, and they kind of brought me back out of my shell.
Yeah, you regain your passion for it. Of course. I done tried to get you on a couple of my shows in the past. I think you had to work once before. But, yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoy poetry. I want to ask you, like, what's the source of your creativity? Because I hear you say you stopped. Was there a reason why you stopped?
I was going to ask that.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know, it was just weird. Like, one day I woke up and I was going to write, and then I don't know what came in me. It was just like it was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this anymore. So I just, like, threw everything away. And it just came to the moment. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, that's usually how it is. I mean, Sco, you can vouch for that. As creatives and everything, right? Like, sometimes you just hit the moments where you're just like, man, fuck this. I'm not really feeling this anymore.
I done wrote a lot of stuff in my phone and just, like, I didn't necessarily delete it, but, like, I just, it's like I'm real, like, what's the word I want to use? Like, it's like you're super vulnerable when you want, you know? It's like you just put yourself out there like that. I don't be wanting to do it sometimes.
Yeah, and then people in middle school and high school, they never knew I did poetry.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until I went to college, I started posting on my Instagram, and my friends from high school were like, I never knew you did that. And I was like, yeah, like, I've been doing it, but I just never.
Crazy thing
felt
is, same with
confident.
me. I wrote that book that I just showed you when I was 15. Nobody ever knew I did poetry. See, this is the thing about when you writing, period, or when you giving yourself and you giving your most vulnerable self. It's like you bearing your soul. So you really giving somebody a piece of you that's vulnerable and that's like susceptible to be judged and so on and so forth. And sometimes it can be uneasy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So I definitely, even at, what's the phrase go with Erykah Badu is I'm serious about my I'm an artist and I'm serious about my shit. So I don't know.
I don't know. I was like, you asked me to reference that. Hey, listen, I was finna fuck that up.
Yeah.
Now keep in mind, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times,
Yeah.
the reason why a person's sensitive about that shit is because they bearing their soul in most cases, whether it's good or bad. I make it a point. I got a lot of partners that's rappers and shit. I make it a point to never tell them if they shit good or bad.
Right.
Because I don't know.
Right, at the end of the day, it's your art. So you can see things that other people can't see, and when they discredit your art, it kind of brings you down because it's like, damn, like I put my all into this shit and you don't like it, you know?
Absolutely.
So,
I got a poem called "Bitch You Hurt Me." I'm gonna put it out one day.
Can you say it now?
No, I don't want to say it now.
Just one line. 2 lines.
I just told y'all, "Bitch You Hurt Me." That's the first line.
Is that how it starts?
Yeah, it's the first line.
She killed him. What did she do? You want to talk about that?
Nah, I don't want to talk about it.
Oh.
You okay?
It's gonna take me back. I might start crying and
This
shit.
is a safe place on the ChoppedByT podcast. This is a safe space.
He's a little sensitive right
This
now.
is a safe place, brother. You can cry on this motherfucker.
No, because y'all gonna edit this shit and put like
He caught on to what we
We
be doing
don't
too.
edit all this shit. but I get it though, and sometimes like words are so powerful. I read this book. What's the book called? Fuck, it's
is it from Malcolm Gladwell?
No, it's not from Malcolm.
I was
Gladwell.
waiting on talking to strangers.
Nah. Malcolm ain't getting no love on this motherfucker. I done DM this nigga 25 times. Malcolm, you better tap in with me, nigga. I'm pulling up.
I'm gonna pull up on your ass.
Sick of this shit. I done DM Malcolm 28 times. He ain't hit me back yet. But no, this book is Don Miguel. I don't know, but 4 Agreements. That's the name of the book. Y'all done heard of 4 Agreements. It's a popular book. And it's just like one of the agreements is that just about using your words, and you can cast spells using your words a lot of the time and so on and so forth. Like, so words hold so much power. I mean, me and Sko talk daily. Me and Demo talk shit daily. It's about manifestation. All the time when we talking, it's about manifestation in regards to our podcast and everything like that. That's the way we manifest. You find people who like-minded people, because you just said something earlier. You said you had to find people at MTSU who did poetry like you.
Right.
So you get around like-minded people and you just manifest, and it's just a vibe, and a lot of the times that'll get that creativity going.
Because the power of the tongue is inevitable. Like,
Right.
it holds a lot of power. So whatever you're speaking, you're like casting spells. Like everything you say is a spell. So you're casting spells in the universe. Like I had to watch what I was saying to myself sometimes. Because like I used to say like, oh, I'm broke. You know, college students were like, I'm broke. And then like you would start seeing in the future throughout time, like you're really struggling financially and then stuff like that. So it's like I had to watch out what I was saying. Like, okay, I may not have it in the moment, but it's coming soon. It's coming. Like, you know, I had to really watch out for myself because words are spells.
Yeah.
So they hold a lot of weight. You have to watch out what you say, even if you're just playing around, but they don't take that stuff lightly.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Christine, I wanted to go back to what you said about poetry. So I know you say you never put it out to anybody, but was there, besides yourself, you know, maybe you were self-sabotaging, but was there anybody around you like that was maybe giving you bad criticism or giving you bad feedback, and that was maybe a reason why? Or what do you think? Like, I want you to get into your head, and I'm trying to figure out why you just would stop out of nowhere.
Maybe
It's just creatives. Like, we all have those moments. Like, I paint, and there's times where I stop painting. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I'll draw, and I get bored. I'm like, I'm not even that good. Like, you'll see other people, you'll hear other people, and that's when you really start critiquing yourself. And then you're like, because you'll have people come up to you, and they're like, oh, this is the best poem, like, I've ever heard in my life, da-da-da-da-da. Say all these beautiful things to you. And then you look at somebody else, and you're like, no. They are way better than me. Like, what do you see in me that I see in them? Like, and so that's when you start really like breaking yourself down. As an artist, like you're your biggest critique.
Absolutely.
Like literally your biggest critique.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what anybody says. Like Erykah Badu could come up to me and tell me something, and I wouldn't.
It
even
don't matter
believe
because
it. Because I'm in my own head.
yeah.
you said you stopped in middle school, right? I was thinking maybe because you probably was the only person doing it. Right?
Well, no, like I stopped like my freshman year in high school.
Okay.
Like I just kind of like gave everything up. But I had one friend, I gave her my poems. Like I was like, what do you think? What do you think? And she loved them all. Like she was impressed. Like she was shocked. She was like, I never knew you could write like that. Like, you know. And then that kind of gave me some confidence. But then again, like, I would go back and look at old poems. I would reread them. I'm like, no, what is this?
Yeah.
You know?
So your father is Cuban and your mother is Costa Rican. How was that dynamic in the house?
Yeah.
It's a crazy mix.
Yeah,
Like, it's a real
right.
crazy
Nah, I
mix.
can
Most
imagine.
definitely. Mhm.
Yeah, like, you know, so I know that's a clash of cultures right there. Because one
Yeah.
thing I know about Cubans, they just like, it's everybody else and it's them over here.
Yeah, they
Mhm.
stubborn.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't
so-
play.
No, they don't.
Yeah,
They don't,
yeah.
yeah.
So I imagine that must have been like
They would make fun of each other all the time.
Yeah.
Like, my dad would be like, well, in my country, we don't do that. And my mom would be like, well, in my country, we don't say that. And it's like, okay, it's the same at the end of the day.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, it is. That's so crazy, right? It's the
Mhm.
same, really. But
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
it's different. It's like in America, like, you got people up north and down south. They do different things. We do different things. They say
Absolutely.
different things. We
Right.
say different things. So that's what it is in, like, Latino countries. Like, it's all the same, but it's just different.
that's crazy that you say that. I used that example on one podcast. You remember, like, it's like nobody is monolithic, meaning like even if you just take down Tennessee itself, from East Tennessee to Middle Tennessee to West Tennessee, it's like different places.
Yep.
So imagine when you're doing it on a larger scale in regards to, like, you know, states or countries or so on and so forth. So yeah, no, I can only imagine the different foods and the different, like, everything in the house growing up.
Yeah, because, like, we have a dish. It's called congri. It's black beans and rice. And, like, the way Cubans prepare it and then the way Costa Ricans prepare it is different. Like, Costa Ricans call it pinto. So it's, like, different. Like, the way they prepare it, everything. So it's just funny, like, just growing up, and then my dad would make it, and I would know this the difference, like, if my mom or dad made it. So
Which side got the best food?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
dang. I don't know. Like, they both are. You just put me on the spot.
That's a good answer. That's a good
They
answer.
both are really good, but I
Stand
would
on
say I would be more lenient towards the Cuban side because I was mainly raised around my Cuban family. So,
Okay.
yeah. So
So even you know the native language both sides, right? So it's because I do know it's the essentially the same language, but it's
Yeah.
like it's different variations.
slang.
Yeah, exactly. How was that? Like,
It was okay. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, when I'm around my Cuban family, like, I notice a big difference. Like, occasionally I would visit my Costa Rican family, but they're all the way in Costa Rica. So that's like when we have a chance. And I would just notice, like, first of all, Cubans, they talk super fast.
Yeah.
Like, super
Yeah.
fast. And they're
Yeah.
very vulgar. Like, they cuss after every single word. So even the women, like, it's just all around. And so, you know, when I'm at my grandma's house, like, she's cussing 24/7, talking loud. Cubans talk super loud. Like, they could have a regular conversation in here. You could hear them all the way from Building K.
yeah,
And they're
Sound like
just,
Black Americans to me.
sound like niggas.
But that's funny though. You strike me as like you're even toned and you're very quiet. So that's
My
why it's
mom.
like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Is
my
that the
mom.
Costa Rican
Ricans
side?
are very passive.
Yeah.
They're super calm, super chill. But I do have my loud moments. I just, like,
You can turn
I'm
up when
very-
it's time to turn up.
Yeah, like, I'm very...
Dejan, tell us about it. This is a safe space. What should be doing to you?
She be beating you up, bro.
we ask every man that come on there. Do she hit you? You be hitting them?
No, not
Oh,
like
okay.
that.
Not like that.
Like, listen, I already know. Like, listen, y'all even worse than like black female Americans. Like, y'all don't play that shit.
No, yeah, we don't.
all.
We
Don't play
don't.
that shit. I already know
don't.
what's going on. But no, I just wanted to get that kind of like backstory of your family and everything. I feel like that's important to know and to understand. Because it is that passion. It's the passion in the home. It's the you see the different cultures and everything like that. Therefore, I always found like learning when I was in school. I was in the band. It was short. I didn't do it that long, but you know I got to keep my street
Bro
cred.
played the damn flute.
I did. I played the flute. Look at you, Skull. Look at that's a good one, Skull.
What
I
they
played
play?
the
They
flute.
play hot cross buns.
Nigga played the flute.
Nah, I was a trumpet player, but I was in the band, and I found once I learned how to read music, and I learned how to like, I guess it's read music, or I often hear people say learning different languages and stuff like that. A lot of the time, they can help you, like, I don't know, to expand your mind a little bit more and everything. So, to somebody like me who understood, or not necessarily understood, but who understand that you knowing the different cultures and being able to be experienced and cultured in that way from every angle, it would make sense for you to do poetry or do art or something like that. In my mind, anyway, you know.
Yeah, like my family, I think from my mom's side, my mom's side, they're super creative. Like my sister, she draws, she does crafts. My other sister, she paints, and she also does crafts too, and she like builds stuff. My mom likes to build stuff, and my uncles, like, they can draw really well. So I feel like it just runs in the family. Like, I got all of that.
So you were born and raised here? Yeah, so you don't really even, it wasn't, we had the same conversation episode, I don't know whatever episode it was.
It was now with Adrian,
Yeah, the one with Adrian about Asian hate and stuff like that. You were born here, so you never even got a chance to like fully, I mean, you got a chance, clearly you know your family on both sides, but you never got a chance to experience like that. Like Cubans, I know they get it like they had got a hard time or whatever, right, from as far as like, you know, where they come from and all of that, and Costa Ricans as well. So it's like you never really got a chance to feel that full effect. When you go back home, are you seen like as American, or how do they view you think?
Yeah, like when I go to Costa Rica, like all my cousins, I haven't been to Cuba yet. I've been trying for a long time, but my mom was always on the no this time. But Costa Rica, when we go, like my cousins, they look at me like I'm a god.
Yeah,
like
really?
Yes, because they don't know. Like they just, it's all propaganda. They just like what they see on TV. But when you get here, it's a different story.
Yeah.
So they look at me like I'm a god. They're like, oh, you're so lucky to like live in America. You must be able to do this, and that. And I just look at them like, y'all don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Y'all don't know.
yeah.
But it's very humbling when you visit places like that. Like, we don't have microwaves. We don't have like dishwashers and stuff like that. Like, you wash stuff by hand. Like, you gotta cook it on the stove.
I'll be ready to come back.
It.
I want to go home.
The hot water, like, it's a tropical place, so you don't have hot water.
Yeah.
You have like cold, almost like.
because it's so hot.
Yeah, it's so hot.
Yeah.
And then it's just real humbling. Like, you just no AC. Nothing.
So the showers
it's
be cold?
tropical, yeah.
Let's go.
Super tropical. Like.
Let's go. Like, fuck that. I need my microwave now.
I need
No,
that.
really.
But taking them cold showers, it boosts your immune system, don't it?
Fuck
Man,
that.
I don't know, but all I know is we boil some water, put it in the bucket.
Oh, so y'all like, we
and
taking hot showers. We're not doing that.
Yes. No, I couldn't really stand the cold.
That's too. Like,
It's
yeah,
too.
made
It wakes you up like
Yeah.
super fast.
I never been there, but I do know that it's a beautiful place, though.
No, it is.
You know?
Now, if you get a hotel, yeah, you'll have the AC, you'll have the hot showers and stuff. But if you're living with family,
Yeah.
no, you don't have none of that.
That's so interesting, though. I always want to learn about that. I would like to sit down sometime and just talk to people about, you know, people who have that family outside. Because us as Black Americans, a lot of the times we don't know. We just know, you know, shit, where we are. So we don't know like native homes or native land or whatever. I mean, this is our native land for the most part. So we don't know like going back home and experiencing that. And they tell you that you lucky, they're lucky as well, you know, just to not have to deal with the extra shit. But I do want to step back into the creative thing or whatever with you. So you do poetry. Have you thought about writing books or anything? Do you have a book?
Yes, I have. So, like, what you showed me, I've been thinking about that for a long time. So, like, when I started back writing my freshman year, I've been thinking about making a book because I do have, like, a lot of poems and stuff. And a lot of people have, you know, brought that idea to me. I don't know. I'm kind of, like, iffy about it.
I got you.
I don't know. The process of it seems cool. It seems fun, but, like, just piecing everything together.
Yeah, it can be tedious for sure. But, you know, and even we in this space now, and I tell people this all the time, like we in a space now, like digitally, the alcohol kicking in, digitally, like we in a space right now where, for the most part, you could just upload poems and stuff like that online, or you can create your own YouTube, and you can just create your own lane, whether it's poetry, whether it's like short stories, whatever, you can create your own lane. And I think that's something that we need to take advantage of, because the reality is people don't read as much. People, like, it's Audible, you listen to your books and stuff like that. People don't read as much anymore.
That's why I want to make, like, videos now.
Absolutely.
Like, I used to make videos, but they weren't, like, on a creative. It was just me recording myself. But I wanted to go, like, more creative in it. Like, probably do some animation, something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's going to be key.
That's dope.
That's going to be key. I always wanted to be a cartoonist myself, but a lot of people don't know that about me.
You gonna have one like yourself?
I just wanted to be a cartoonist myself, Sco.
Okay.
I just wanted to make cartoons, you know, like Mickey Mouse and shit, brother.
The head on that motherfucker was gonna be huge. If it was you.
Yeah, I tell you by the time motherfucker called me Lil Bill. I'm at the damn nurse station. Motherfucker saying, "Hey, Lil Bill." I ain't saying shit. I knew she talking to me, but I'm like, I ain't answering that shit. You could better ask my goddamn name. Hey, Lil Bill. Lil Bill.
That's messed up.
I was like,
I bet she was black too.
Yeah, she was black.
They always got
I'm looking at my phone like, bitch, I ain't Lil Bill. I'll tell you that right now. She said, Lil Bill. I'm like, what? Said, you look like Lil Bill. I just wanted to call you Lil Bill. You like Lil Bill with hair. You like Lil Bill all grown up. I said,
That's so messed up.
This is what I told her. I said, bitch, I kill your dog. Would Lil Bill kill your dog? Because I kill your fucking dog. Like, how about that?
She didn't know she was talking to a psycho.
Like, bitch, I am not Lil Bill. I'm far from him. But no, seriously though, I always wanted to be a cartoonist for real, and that would be dope if you can apply that and create that space. Listen, creatives need to be creatives.
Oh, yes.
At the core of us, all we want to do is be creative. Listen, people want to create and they want to help. That's all people want to do: create or help, or both of them. You know, that's all we want to do, and creatives need to be creative. You know, and I honestly think in a paradise or ideal world we live in, we would just be able to like not have to worry about the hustle and bustle, the grind, the working 9 to 5s and all that. We would just be able to do the things we want. You know what I mean? That would be paradise for me anyway.
I think it would be less depression if that was the case. Yeah.
No, yeah, and then it's crazy because now they're taking art away from schools.
Crazy.
So yes, like, and they've been doing that for a while. They're trying to take it out the whole like U.S.
I didn't know
curriculum.
that. Why?
They are. I don't know. They just feel like the funding is not worth the funding and stuff. But it's like art is everything. Like,
Art is everything.
it's just like, you know, like those colors on the pads, like.
That's the case. They
Can't
need
have
to take
that
out them
without
weak
art.
ass history classes.
No,
then.
That
yes.
shit
'cause
suck.
Like,
It's
for
I
real.
don't
like-
care about no Columbus. That's me.
they don't even teach you the real shit.
I was
They
finna say
don't
they
even
don't teach
teach
the
us.
right stuff, so
They
They
there's
only
no
teach you
point.
what they want you to know. So.
Exactly. They're trying to assimilate everybody, so
Mhm.
all we know is American culture.
Yeah.
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 Literally how it is. That's
Yeah.
why people are so ignorant
Yeah.
to the
Right.
outside. Mm-hmm.
Fact.
And I figured that's the way, like, so even just going back to what you said in regards to just like taking away art from school, a lot of times it's all, we live in such a capitalistic society to a point to where everything revolves around money.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime they can eliminate something, like, and even going back to what you said, business, everything is art. Even business is art. I said that once before. Business is art. It's an art to doing everything. Art is just short for artificial, meaning if you can create something in your head and make life to it or bring life to it, that's what that is. I said that on the episode with Tavion, but I don't think he fully grasped what I was saying, because when I say artificial, people think it's something that's fake.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the case.
Not the case.
Artificial, if you say AI, artificial intelligence, that's something that you thought of yourself and you made that into a reality. That doesn't make it fake. It just means it's artificial from the standpoint of it's not natural.
Right.
Like us. Like we had to go through the process, you know, be born, grow, or whatever. But if you can create something artificially, that's what that is. And yeah, like that's all art is. I love it. I love everything about it. So.
Me too. And it's just kind of like a reflection of you.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day. That's why everybody's art's so different. Like, you know, the rug is art, your shirt is art, my shoes are art, your tattoos, your shirt too. Like, everything around you, like, is art.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just think it's very fundamental, and why they would take it out of schools, they're just trying to suppress everybody. I
Budget.
guess.
Or something.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
they trying to
That's messed up.
Going back to that, do you know, have your parents, I know you said you haven't been to Cuba, and I would assume that's for obvious reasons with the Fidel Castro and type stuff like that. Do you know the history of all that? Have they educated you on that?
Yes. Like, my dad, that's all he talks about.
How do you feel about Fidel?
He hates him.
They
Like,
do
with a
hate him.
passion. That's why he came here.
Yeah,
like,
they do hate him.
yes, like, they hate him. My grandparents, like, anybody Cuban, the moment you get political, it's not going back.
Yeah.
Like they get really deep in it. And then just growing up, like my dad, he would just always tell me like what it was like living in the streets like of Cuba, and then just like the things he would see, the system that he had to go through, you know, just like you could only afford toothpaste but you couldn't afford the toothbrush.
Yeah.
You could afford rice but you couldn't afford the bread. Like, you know, just like too much things. Like it was just the way the system was. Like a McDonald's worker would get the same pay as a doctor.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy, you know. It's just like the life that they live down there. I never went, but I always wanted to go. Like, you know, my grandpa always tried to take me, but my mom was always saying no.
Hell
Like,
no.
I want you to just correct me if I'm wrong, but I read a lot, so I heard this somewhere. Fidel Castro wasn't even Cuban, right? Or was he? I heard he was Italian.
No, he was Cuban.
He was Cuban. Okay,
He was
okay.
Cuban, yeah,
See,
he
I
was
read too much
Cuban.
conspiracy shit.
Nah,
Yeah,
Fidel was Cuban.
somebody told me, I read somewhere that he wasn't even like a Cuban. He was actually Italian, you know. But maybe I could. Well, you just corrected me. So, but like that is like communist.
Probably
Cuban.
had like Italian descendants, but a lot of Cuban descendants are either from Africa or Spain, because that's like what took over Cuba.
That's so crazy to me.
I wanted to ask you do you wear any of that hate that your dad, you know, wears about Fidel Castro? And I asked that because, you know, when the whole Colin Kaepernick thing came up, and of course he's fighting for what's righteous and everything like that. But at the same time, when he showed up with the Fidel Castro T-shirt on, a lot of Cuban brothers and sisters, they kind of, you know, was like, hey, I see what you're trying to do, but understand that Fidel Castro was over in Cuba, like, you know, oppressing people. So
yeah, like that's the thing. Like, so with communism, what my dad taught me, like it looks good on paper, but when you live it, like it's different. Like anything you read, like yeah, it looks good, but when you actually live it, it's a different situation. Like it's not what the picture paints to be. So, you know, like when he would see stuff like that, he would get real mad because like to him it's ignorant. And it's like, you know, you never lived that life. So, like, why are you trying to bring that here? You don't know what you're, you know, speaking into, what you're bringing. So, like.
Yeah. And that's such a popular shirt with the Fidel Castro on it.
It's really like Che Guevara, too. I don't know if y'all know who Che Guevara is, but he.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of him. Yeah. They say he was like a really bad person, too, huh?
Yes. So in Cuba, like, a lot of people praise him and stuff, but he killed a lot of Cubans.
Yeah.
Like, a real Cuban knows not to wear his stuff, like, because he killed a lot of.
Y'all know the shirt. Y'all done seen the shirt before. Especially black people, we wear the shirt. Like, yeah, have you? Well, I can't explain how the shirt looked. But
yeah,
you
I
done
can't.
seen the shirt before.
Maybe I seen it, just didn't know
actually,
what it was.
Googled it and added in. So
How do you spell that? How you?
Che Guevara, CHE, and then Guevara is GERVERA. I don't know if it already popped up.
It's a popular shirt. You'll be able to find it quickly.
She'll pop straight up.
Yeah, like we wear that shirt, and I heard that. I seen it on the Joe Rogan podcast where he was saying like, you know, that dude, he was talking to somebody who was like, that was a horrible dude, like a murderer, like a
yes,
mass
he
murderer.
was definitely, and Fidel is too. Like Fidel would oppress you. Like if you tried to seem any better than him, like he would kill you.
It's
like
crazy.
for real. Like if you went to the Olympics and you as a Cuban and you failed, you're not coming back home.
It's crazy.
Like he would kill you.
Crazy.
Damn.
Yeah, it's like it was all perfection. Like it was like a utopia almost. Like he wanted you to be the best to represent. Like
I don't mean to get too far into the weeds, but now that we have somebody that's of that descent, maybe we can get a little bit more education about it. A lot of people talk about Fidel Castro, and I think that's what Colin Kaepernick was talking about was Fidel Castro's, I think it was social communism programs, like a lot of his programs with education and stuff. A lot of people praise that, and that's the reason why Colin Kaepernick was wearing the T-shirt that he was wearing, not to kind of praise Fidel Castro on his oppression, but more so to speak on, hey, this is the type of education reform we need in America, because our education system is bad. So I didn't know how much of that you knew about.
My grandma, she used to teach in Cuba. Like she used to be a teacher, and from what like my dad would tell me, what she would tell me, like I feel like their education, like the way they educate their kids, is definitely like it has a much bigger impact than how we get educated.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, how we get educated, I like it, but I'm more open to how they get educated. So my grandma said, you know, the same amount of kids, the same kids she got on pre-K are the same kids she's had her whole life till they graduated high school. So, like, you know, you get the same kids. You already know your kids. You know how each one learns throughout time the longer you're with them. Like, you know, each year we get a different teacher. Each teacher, we're like, they don't know us.
They don't know.
They don't know how we are. And it's towards the end of the year when they get used to us and they kind of teach us how we already know. So it's like, I feel like, you know, their way is more, how do you say it?
Hands-on, maybe?
I mean, yes, hands-on, but it's more...
It's more like family based, like
No,
I don't know.
more effective.
Yeah, more.
It's more effective. Like, they're around you, like, for all those years, 13 plus years. So they get to know you more. They get to know how you learn. So it's like, there's no child left behind act. It's not effective, like, you know, because we're not really, some people can know more stuff and the other people won't. So it's like, you know, you as a teacher, you can kind of keep everybody on the same level because you already know how to teach this group and this group and this group. So.
Yeah. I think it just goes back to what you said. Like, you know, even Colin Kaepernick, for example, he can sit and say all he wants to, but he never got a chance to live that. He never got a chance to go through what your father went through and dealing with the, you know, the BS and all of that. So.
Yeah, and like they, even in school, like they, from a young age, like they're teaching you like these chants, like you have to sing chants, like Fidel Castro's the greatest, da da da. Like my dad to this day, he knows it word for word because he had to sing it every single day in school. I remember when I went to church when I was younger, it was another Cuban lady, and my dad and her were talking, and they sung the song together. That like the same words, word for word. It was crazy. Like my dad told me when they were young, like, cause you know they don't believe in God and stuff. They you can't believe in God. Like my dad, teachers would literally give him an A+. Just to tell him, go outside and beat that dude. He loves Jesus. He's a Christian. Like, go outside and throw rocks at him, stone him.
Yeah.
Damn.
And yeah, it's like literally my dad, he would get A's because of that. Like literally, if you were gay, if you believed in God, whatever you were, that was different from what they wanted you to be. Like, yeah, you would definitely get beat up. Teachers would definitely do what they could. Like, if, you know, when you graduated, they would give you the diploma, right? All those years, everything you put in, all that work. And they would ask you, they're like, do you believe in God?
Yeah.
If you say yes, they're
Take it
ripping
away.
it in your face. So all those years that you worked, everything you put into, you can't even have it no more.
Wow.
Those are the parts that people don't talk about.
Yes, my dad, he would tell me, like, at a young age, like, they would, from pre-K, like, they would tell the kids, you know, you're a kid. You get taught how you think, you know. And so, like, kids, they would tell them, close your eyes and hold out your hand. They would hold out their hand. They would ask God for a piece of candy. When they open their eyes, there's no candy. Like, okay, hold out your hand. Ask Fidel for a piece of candy. They ask Fidel, give me a piece of candy.
Candy.
So it's just like, you know, from a young age.
Psychologically.
Like, it's psychological. It's propaganda. It's what they install in your heads. Like, they would have commercials of America to make you scared to come to America.
Yeah.
Because, you know, America's a better life, to say. And so they would just show, like, you know, people starving, like homeless people. And, okay, if you go to America, that's the life you're going to live.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so it's just.
That's some evil shit.
Yeah, it's really.
Yeah. I'm just glad we can get that education on that. Like, that's extremely important for us to know. Especially
I never knew
people.
that.
Yeah, because I mean,
That's the thing. Like, they don't put that in the books. Like, it looks pretty on paper. And yes, my dad will even admit that to you. Like, communism is very beautiful on paper. It looks very good. It sounds good. Everything it almost seems perfect. But when you start to live that life, people start abusing that power.
Yeah.
Because when you're in control, is one person in control, things start to get in your head. It doesn't matter how good of a person you are. But once you have that power, it's easy to go. It consumes you.
I'm gonna be honest. The idea of chants and the national anthem, all that stuff is stupid anyway. Like, why do we need to stand up before sports events and proclaim our love for our country? Like, the idea of that is just like, either you love it or you don't. And there's always gonna be people within the country that
Don't.
Like
They
you
don't.
stroking somebody's ego.
Yeah, like
They
who are we
just-
doing this for? Because we're
Yeah.
not doing it for each other. Because as you were talking about the chants for Fidel Castro, first thing I thought about is the Pledge of Allegiance. Like that's what we said, before school each morning. So it's just like, why do we have to do this? Like, it's always gonna be people that it's immigrants that come over. They have a different culture, but we tell them to sing the Pledge of Allegiance every day. But it's like, is that saying that they can't, sing their own chants and stuff like that?
Right.
So I feel like we kind of do that in America to a certain degree.
Yeah, no, it's everywhere, honestly. But like in certain countries, they're more able to, bring it out more than other countries. Like America, if we had to sing to Joe Biden every fucking day, like, it was like, okay, that's kind of suspicious.
Like,
But
man, fuck Joe. That's what we was saying.
but in Cuba, if you have to
did it,
sing
Joe.
to Fidel, it's like, it's normal.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, like you said, communism. It would be the ideal thing if you had a perfect person in leadership, but that's just not the
no
reality.
it's
perfect
not
person.
gonna happen.
Yeah. No person is perfect, and you'll get consumed with power.
Crazy.
It is crazy. I got a theory on just to get back, because we went deep into all of that. Just to get back to like the poetry and the idea of arts and everything. I got a theory on art. It's through like the way I say it is like this. So everything is violence, right? I say everything is violence, and peace can only come through the healing process after the violence has occurred initially. What do y'all take from there when I say something like that?
I just feel like a person is not, like, when you're not fully healed, you are carrying that hurt on you. So, like, you're constantly hurting people, because hurt people hurt people.
Absolutely.
So, like, you're not completely healed from certain situations, like things from your childhood even. You're carrying that trauma on you. Energy, you can transfer. So
Absolutely.
you're carrying those spirits, that energy, everywhere you go, and you're not healing it, you're not facing it, you're running away from it, but they're still behind you. And so, like, everything can be an attack to you when you're not healed. But when you're healed, you view things from a more clear perspective, a more calm perspective. And so, like, anything anybody could do, it could trigger you.
Yeah.
And when you're triggered, you become a little more aggressive, a little more violent. So, like, that's what I take from it.
What do you think, Scott?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of lit.
You lit? Nah, it's fine, bro.
And I was sitting here trying to think of some shit. I'm like,
Ain't nothing wrong with being lit, brother. Ain't nothing wrong with being lit. I'm glad you lit. I hope your mama see this. She watch every episode.
You gonna see it. Onterio fault, mama. He said pull us up.
I did.
So I can't even get deep on the podcast now.
They know
because
who I am. They know
He
my
gonna get me
spirit.
drunk and ask this deep ass question.
They know who I am and they know my spirit, so they know. Like, it's like I'm a good guy, but
Say
it's lit.
the theory one more time. You said everything is violence and healing can only come through art, right? T?
No, everything is violence, and then the healing part is peace.
The healing part is peace.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the saying, like, it gotta get worse before it can get better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I got from it.
Me and Roscoe been had kind of like a thing with an individual that we know personally, where I always tell people, in order to make somebody understand something, or people, like people, us, because of the way we are and how we built, for us to understand something, it has to be something dramatic.
Harsh.
It's like it has to be like quick and aggressive and violent. Like, and violence doesn't necessarily mean like hitting or shooting.
Bloodshed.
Like, none of it. It's like you don't realize the idea of God and God is forever present in all of that until you just went and shot somebody in the face, and now you got to do 30 years to life in prison, and you're around all this violence and all this madness. In the moments, in the chaos, and the violence, that's the only time you can realize, like, that I need to make a change. And through that, that's when you gain your peace. That's exactly what I mean. Everything, no matter what we do, is all violent. Even the whole concept, the idea of working out, losing weight is all violence, from the slamming of the weights to the burning of the calories. Sex is continuous back and forth motion and all that. That's violent. And nothing that we do doesn't have that idea of violence in it. But it's only through orgasm or only through the idea of you losing weight, looking good, that you can seek, that you can find that peace.
I do agree that you have to go through something to, to have something revealed to you, but it's also how you respond to that, because a lot of people stay in that. And prison is a good example. It's like Malcolm X, for example. He had to go through bondage and going through prison before he was converted.
Absolutely.
But it wasn't until he was caught after doing something violent, and then he sat and he had nothing else to sit with but himself. So that was peace for him. Mm-hmm. And then he realized, I need to make a change or I'll be in this solitary. But that's what it is for me. It's like a lot of people don't know how to be to themselves. And that's what the pandemic taught a lot of people. It's just like, if you can't sit with yourself, then you can't realize what you've done and go through that self-evaluation like you talk about. But Roscoe, I think you've said it before, a lot of people scared to sit with themselves because they don't want to look in the mirror and say, damn, I done did something. So their only outlet is to go out and make themselves as busy as possible to distract from the fact that they got stuff going on at home.
And that's why things happen again and again. Like you said, some people keep going through the same things because they never really healed from it or they never really learned from it. And what life is funny because they will keep bringing you the same problems over and over again until you finally get that epiphany and you're like, wait a minute, this is what this is. Like, I need to learn from that, And that's when it'll stop because it already taught you the lesson. Now, it will come back in the future to test you. That's what life likes to do. They like to test you a lot, and they like to see if you really learn. Because you may know it in the moment. You may acknowledge it. You may feel guilty in the moment. You're like, okay, I will never do it again. But then when that opportunity comes back around, are you really not going to do it again? So,
Yeah, me and Terry, we were just kind of talking about that the other day when, just talking about people just repeating that same cycle over and over, just staying stagnant. And, if you're a person trying to do better and you're around that person, it's draining.
It is.
It's so draining. It's like you don't want to you don't want to leave those people behind, but you have to.
Because sometimes, and sometimes you can't carry people into your next chapter. And that's what's holding you back from your blessing because you're too scared to let go.
Exactly.
So, you just have to let go of that, like Erykah Badu, bag lady, don't carry too much. Because if you carry too much, you...
Dead weight. You going
up
the hill, but you got this dead weight on your back.
It makes it harder to go up the hill. So, got to pack light.
Man, this is the reality, though. This shit is so easy. Life is easy.
We make it complicated.
It's the people that just make it
we
hard.
Just make
this
it complicated.
Is so easy to do. The idea that you and your significant other, y'all can just get together and create something so great. And all you have to do is stay consistent and keep producing. And after a while, y'all achieve everything that y'all ever wanted. It's literally that simple. But along the way, you got these barriers. You got this pride. You got conscience. You got other individuals coming in that's interfering with that. Like, I guess it's not so simple then in that case because it started to become complex. The more
it can be simple.
It can be simple.
We make it hard.
We do.
We make it hard.
It's just our emotions, the communication, like staying on the same page, like you said, staying consistent. Because one day I may feel like a 30% and he may feel like a 70%. So he may have to put a little more and I may have to put a little more one day. So, it's like we all kind of fluctuate day by day. So, just kind of being notice of that.
Talking about you and Dejan's situation, Christine, makes me think about Tabitha Brown and her husband. I don't know if y'all seen what had happened this past week with Wendy. I figured you had, T. But Wendy Williams had just out the blue, just kind of talked about Tabitha Brown and her husband. I don't even know her husband's name, but he was a police officer. Yeah, basically they had come into agreement that he would go to work for 5 years. The initial agreement was 5 years. It turned into 15 though. While she chased her dreams and chased after what she's into now, and she was like, I'll retire you after that. And she's gotten to a place where she can do that now. But Wendy Williams caught wind of that. And you could tell it was the producers just feeding it to her. But because she started out by saying, first of all, I don't know this woman, but I've seen this before. And she projected her own insecurities in her marriage with her ex-husband or whatever and saying that man's just going to cheat on you if you let him take care of you like that. But that makes me think about you and Dejan and what T was just saying about how two partners can come together in agreement and, you know, build something. But there has to be that agreement first. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
I mean, yeah, like if you communicate it effectively and stuff, I feel like, yeah. And if you trust your partner, like, you know, what everybody says on the outside is really not.
Don't matter.
It doesn't matter because, I mean, what they see on the outside, they don't know what's going on the inside. You never know what's going on the inside. Only those people who are in know what is going on.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, so like, you know, we may say something and we may come to agreement and we may feel a certain way about it. But that's why, you know, I don't like to tell too many people about, like, if me and him have a problem, it's a problem between me and him. Yeah. And I don't like to really tell my friends. I don't like to go to other people. Now, sometimes if I feel like I'm tripping, yes, I ask for some advice. Like, okay, how do you feel? You know, am I right to feel like this and stuff like that? But I rarely do that because, like, you know, I have him to communicate to. Yeah. And so, you know, like, I just feel like a lot of people on the outside, they project their insecurities, like you said, you know, their past traumas, things that they haven't healed from. So, you know, they project that on you. They give that energy to you, and it makes you think certain things. It kind of, like, distorts the image of your relationship and what you already know. So, you know, that's why you kind of have to be careful of those outside voices because they can really kind of twist your whole perception of your relationship that you know about, that y'all know about. So you can't let those outside voices get too much into what y'all already know.
A lot of times, like, some of my friends come to me talking about their relationship. I just listen.
Yeah.
I'm not finna plant no bad seeds in their house, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just listen. They literally talking to you because they just need somebody to talk to.
Exactly.
They can't talk to their person right now, so they just talking to you. And that person, you know, that they talking to have to understand that. Like,
yes, and that's why you have to be careful. Like, each friend serves a different purpose, and you may have friends like that, like, that will just listen. Like, I used to be that friend. I would just listen, like, now, if I knew, like, it was obvious you were in the wrong, I'll be like, okay, you know, you kind of fucked up. Like, she has a reason to think like that, but at the same time, like, I see where you're coming from. Like, at the end of the day, I kind of, like, understood where both sides were coming from, but I would point out, too. Like, I would be honest with you at the end of the day.
And I got to give it even to Roscoe, of course. Like, Roscoe, I'm one of them friends that be coming talking shit to him a lot of times. He was talking about me. I appreciate that, Roscoe. But I'm one of them friends who come to him a lot of the time, and I got to give it to him. Like, he does do a great job of listening. I even said that to you once before. Like, bro, I just want a motherfucker to listen. I don't need your opinion. I already know what's going on. I just want to get this out, though.
Gotta get this out my head.
Because you can't keep things bottled in for so long.
Absolutely.
That's what drives you crazy. At the end of the day, you kind of have to let it out, but you have to be careful who you let it out to.
Exactly. Exactly.
I got a coworker of mine I used to work with. She used to be like, I tell my friends before they start venting, do you want advice or do you want me to listen? Because it can't be both. Like, I can't listen to you and then give you advice. Because some people, like y'all said, they just want you to, they already know what to do. They just want somebody to listen to them. Or some people know what they're about to do is wrong, but they want that friend that's going to validate them and push them over the edge so they know, okay, they can blame it on them later on and be like, well, this is what you told me to do.
I done been that friend.
Listen, me too. I had this guy I used to work with. He'd come to me. And he's like, he would be talking as if, like, he just needed that extra. The extra to, like, go and do what he wanted. I said, fuck it, do it.
I swear to God.
I said, don't be no bitch about it when you do it, though.
That's me, bro. I swear to God.
Don't be coming here feeling guilty. Nah, stay on that side. And you did it, you cheated, energy, stay over there.
Keep that energy, nigga.
Live with it.
That's me every time. Do that shit, bro. Yeah, because that's what you want.
That's what you want.
You want to do that stupid ass shit. Do that shit, nigga. Yeah, fuck up your whole family, your whole relationship. Do that stupid ass shit. And come holler at me later on.
Come holler at me later on. Yeah. So I can talk to your stupid ass.
Nah, real talk. Ain't nothing worth, like, listen, we say it's the cliche expression, love conquers all. You know, it's that. But it's some truth to that because it's nothing like love. It's nothing like having that in that moment and being able to love and being able to really have that person, your person to love you. And I think you hit it right on the head. How old are you?
I'm 22.
22. You are young. And that is one of the most mature statements that I done heard a person say. And when you said that, you know, a lot of the times what me and him got going on is between me and him. Like, I think a lot of people need to take a page from that book because what you and him got going on, or what you and your other, or even not just you and your relationship, as far as like your relationship with your partner, but relationship with friends and everything. What y'all have
it really
going
goes
on.
with everybody. Because like I said, every friend serves a different purpose.
Yeah.
So, you know, me and him, like we have a certain relationship. And then, you know, like me and you, it would be completely different.
Yeah.
So if I was to talk to you on a level I talk to him, it would be kind of like throwing you off. And it's like, what is this?
Absolutely.
So it's like, you know, we communicate a certain way. I communicate with my friend a certain way. So like, you know, it's just like, I communicate with my friend a certain way. So, you know, I can't speak to her I can speak to him in a way that he understands, and speak to her in a completely different way, and she'll understand it. The same message. So it's like, you know, you can't really carry the same thing with every friend, and you can't really, you know, project that same problems with every friend, because one friend may be nosy.
Yeah.
And they just want to know your business.
Yeah.
Another friend, they just want to listen and be that helping hand. And then another friend could be envious, and they want to sabotage what you got going on.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to be careful with the outside, who you vent to, who you share things with, and how you communicate with each one. Because at the end of the day, what your problem is between y'all two, or me and him, or you and me, or whatever the case may be, only we can understand that. But they won't get it like we would.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Now that's good. I want you to keep that mindset always. A lot of the time with people, we have to reinforce those ideals. We have to like continuously remind ourselves of, you know, our values and our principles. I want you to always hold on to that, because I think if you continue to think that way, it can take you a long way, and you'll avoid a lot of heartache. I had to learn the hard way. Demo said last episode, I don't know which episode. It's one of these episodes we're going to post. We post them out of order sometimes. But Demo said, you know, one of my weaknesses for me is that I care too much. Or not in that wasn't verbatim, but basically like I want to help. I want to jump in and I want to help people. But a lot of the time, for my sanity, when I was your age, I'll give you an example, and I'm going to finish my thought. But I just want to give you an example. When I was your age, when I was 22, I was in the military. And I was losing a lot of my hair. You know, I was losing my hair. I having like patches in my head from losing my hair because of stress. Because I had to balance so much. It's so many people I had to play so many different roles to, whether it's father, whether it's brother, it's just so much of that. And I carried the burden of all of these people, right? And to just even go, I just want you to have that in mind while I'm saying what I'm saying. But to finish that thought, what I was saying, if I had knew what you just said in those moments and took the time to understand, like, you're not their father, you're not their brother. If I had took the time to understand that in those moments and just understand, this is my relationship with you, these are my boundaries, these are the things that I will accept and won't accept, then I could have saved myself so much heartache and so much money and so much like mental like overload. So
yeah.
And a lot of times, like going back to what he said, like you just want to help people. A lot of times you have to be careful who you help, because, you know, everybody has karma. So, you know, like we said in the past, you know, you don't really end a cycle until you really learn the cycle.
right.
So, like, if you help somebody who's in that process of learning that cycle, you're stopping them from really ending
So
it.
true.
You see what I'm saying? So, like, you have to be careful who you help, because sometimes those people deserve that. As hard as it may seem to our eyes, like, we're seeing, like, damn, you don't deserve that. But you don't know what that person went through in their past life, or you don't know what they're going through now, or what they did to put them in that predicament.
Exactly.
You gotta let them suffer.
You got to let them, but you have to be careful,
Yeah.
because you have to know if you should help them, or if they need to really go through that.
It's true. I never
Like
thought of that.
your coworker, I guess, like he was cheating and stuff. Like
He
he's
wanted
gonna
to.
have to go through those motions. You can't help him. You can't help him. Like
That nigga was cheating, wasn't he?
you said, it. Like,
Wasn't he?
He
Yeah,
wanted
did
to
say
so
that.
bad. I don't
Women
think
know,
he-
bro.
He
He
has
wanted
to
to.
go through those that cycle. You can't really help him, because at the end of the day, what he thought was wrong, and you know he's gonna continue to fall into that adultery
Yeah.
at the end of the day, because he's not learning like it's wrong, and you don't really learn like until you're placed in that predicament, like, and you
Feel
know
that
how it feels, and it's like, wow, like, okay, this is what it feels like to be on the other side of the coin. Like, it's just, you have to be careful who you help.
No, listen, you just fucked me up. I'm gonna be honest.
Right.
Because
me
I'm gonna
too.
tell you, like, I never put it in that perspective in that way. So essentially, what you just said was, and I want to make sure I like put this out to the people who listening to the podcast. A lot of the times, you have to let people fight their own battles. You gotta
Get
be
out of the
real
way.
careful.
Yeah.
You got to get out of their way because they'll only get to where they need to be by experiencing that themselves.
Yes.
That has truly, see, we learn shit on ChoppedByT every day. Every time we do it. That has truly been one of my shortcomings in life. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I always try to intervene because I've had the, I'm gonna say, privilege of having one of the hardest, most knowledgeable teachers, and that teacher is life. And because in those moments I had to learn from life, and it was a struggle, and it was hard, and I was going bald, and I was stressed, and I was losing weight, I was gaining weight, I was entertaining relationships that I shouldn't have been entertaining, whether it's with dudes in the streets or whether it's with women that I know me know well. In those moments I had to learn from life, and when I see people going through that exact same thing that I'm going through, I just want to carry them,
grab 'em out of
hold them,
there.
and just like, no, don't do that. But what you just said was, no, let them live that so they can become the man that I am now.
Because life is all about experience and your choices. Your choices affect your experience. So whatever choice you have, like, it can affect the outcome. Like, you can tell a child not to touch the stove because it's hot. The child will never know the stove is hot until they touch it. So, you know, like a child with a burnt hand, they experienced it. Now they know they will never touch a stove again when it's hot. Now, a child who does not have a burnt hand, they will forever live like wondering, is it really hot, until they touch it. So, you know, you have to gain experience at the end of the day, and that makes you a wiser person. Like, now you can, you know, the other child can tell that child, like, nah, like, look at my burn. This is what that does to you. Like, don't touch it. And then that child, if they're wise enough, they'll look at that burn and be like, I don't want that to happen to me.
Again.
So, you know, I'm not going to touch it.
Man,
And I
get
want to
Christine
clear.
some
I
hand
want
claps.
to.
Hold on. You got some shit to say.
Thank
Don't throw them
you.
damn hand. You can't hear them, but it's some hand claps. going on. It's hand claps.
And I want to give that context because I know a lot of people will twist up shit. Christine is not saying take your child's hand and put it on the stove so they can learn what the shit feel like. Because you know, there's some crazy people out in the world. They might.
Maverick might need to
They-
touch the stove.
He might need to touch that. He might need to touch that. Do not put your child's hand on the stove intentionally. That's not what she's
don't
saying.
do it at home.
But nah, it is important to know that, and I always think of it in terms of the real world. The real world will chew you up and spit you out.
Yeah.
So in terms of that hot stove, explain to your child or somebody like that's the real world right there. So if you go out there fucking around off in the real world and you thinking that you the biggest, baddest, invincible and all that type of stuff, you're gonna get caught up in life. You're gonna get burnt. And like that's gonna teach you,
And
like,
it
don't
leaves
do
a
that
scar
no
at
more.
the end of the
Exactly,
day.
it leaves a scar.
Here's my thing
Remember
with
it.
people though. Like, if you've seen me go through certain shit, right?
Yeah.
You've seen me go through certain shit, and I come back and tell you, don't do that. You just seen what the fuck they did to me, and you go right and do the same thing. I can't be around you.
But Sco, I'm not you though. I'm
But
me.
I get that. But
But it's just like that child, they still have the choice.
right.
Like when they see that burn, they can either think one or two things. Like, okay, one, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to risk the chance of me getting burned. And then you have the second thought. It's like, but maybe I can.
Try that shit.
Try
And
this.
maybe I'm not going to get burned. You know, like maybe I can find a way around it and not get burned. So, you know, it's just like you have those people that kind of want to take that risk. So you can't help it. You just got to let them feel that
crazy.
shit.
But I get exactly what Sco coming from, because what Sco was saying is, you know, yeah, you can go live your life, but if you out here touching stoves, I can't be fucking with you.
can't.
No,
I
yeah,
already
because at the
trust
end of the
that
day, that's
stove.
the energy you're around.
Because you're going to come back to me to help you. Like,
Yeah,
oh, and
I
just
can't
told
heal
you
your
not to do
wounds.
that.
You gotta
Yeah,
heal it on
like,
your own. Absolutely. Nah, I feel that. But you know, again, it just all goes back. There's so many layers to life. Life is so complicated, and I think, you know, the most beautiful thing about life. I mean, life is poetry. You know, it's poetry in motion. If the most beautiful thing about life is when you living in the moments and you doing it, you figure out these mistakes and you just tweaking it and you making it work along the way. It's things that caused me so much pain in my past that now I look at it and I just laugh about it. Like, wow, you was really done for in the moments. Like when she broke your heart, or when this person that you held on such a high pedestal disappointed you. It's like, it's laughable now. And you can look back and you can learn from the mistakes. And again, like you said, you can look at that wound and you can say, wow, you burnt me, motherfucker. But I know never to get burnt again.
Right. Most definitely. Those things, those experiences, they definitely shape you. And they also help you with your choices future on in life. Because at the end of the day, the problems never stop. They always keep coming. Always keep coming. It's just the way you handle it. Your character. I heard this quote. It said, your character is not defined by what you go through, but how you react to what you go through. So, like, you know, if you continue to react the same way, that cycle is not ending. But if you find a better way to react, be more calm, be more confident, you can see things in a more clear view. So, you know, it's easier to handle a problem once you've already been through it again and again. You know, I'm always going to be good in the end. So what's the point of me stressing, you know?
True.
So when it comes to, go ahead, Sko. Or
I was just gonna say, I want to ask you, because we talked about it in the beginning. You got a couple businesses and everything, right? Or just it's two of them, right?
Yes. So I have my lash appeal, which is like my lash business, but I kind of stopped that a while back. It was the first business I ever started and went through. I sold lashes, silk scarves, and hairpins, and a lot of people liked my stuff. It was like a reflection of my style. At the end of the day, like, your business is a reflection of you.
Absolutely.
So, you know, it was a reflection of my style, what I liked, and stuff like that. And then I had to stop because I wanted to do something else. Like, it was just like, I like this, but I feel like, you know, it's not what I want to start doing. So, you know, I started doing drinks because I always wanted to be a bartender or a mixologist. Like, I always looked into that, but I never really made it an effect because, you know, every time I had a job with serving, it was always a level. Like, you had to serve first and then be a bartender, but you never knew how long that was going to be. It could be like 10 years or 10 months, but at the end of the day, I didn't want to wait that long. Like, you know, I wanted to start now. But so I started mixing my own drinks, making my own, what I thought was good. You know, I started selling them. People started buying. They like it. And, you know, so that's when I started getting my name around. But
we was going to cash you out today. I was going
to
cash you out today.
I wish I would have started. If I would have,
Demo gonna put all the social medias in there and everything, and I definitely be in contact with you. Like I said, we got a couple live shows we're gonna throw in the future. Damn, did I just give it exclusive?
You did.
Damn, that was supposed to be a surprise.
I can edit that out.
Yeah, but we do. We got some things coming up or whatever, and you know it can work both ways. We can have Dejan as the DJ and you as the person in there serving drinks, so it'll work out. I'll definitely be in contact with you.
Most definitely.
About that, about your drinks. Like I said, we was going to cash you out today if you had a brought some. We doing some stuff. We ain't celebrating the 4th, though.
Right.
We celebrate Juneteenth. We just so happen it's the 4th of July weekend, so we going to barbecue and turn up.
That's what we're doing.
And if a nigga have on red, white, and blue, they just have on red, white, and blue.
We can say that's the colors of the podcast. So, I mean, you know, those are the colors.
We just want to see the fireworks and we want to eat good, but it's not anything else to it.
Right. So yeah, we was gonna just buy some for that, and just I was gonna bring the drinks that you made over there. But I know you said you had some stuff going, so you couldn't. But we'll definitely be in contact with you and everything. And listen, like, I appreciate you for coming on. You got a bright future ahead of you.
No, thank you. I really appreciate that. It means a lot.
You do. Stay focused and keep grinding. And it's gonna get hard. You already know that already. I'm not telling you anything that you don't know, but just keep grinding and stay focused and you know, stay the course. You know, it seemed like you got good people around you. It seemed like you got good energy around you, and stay focused and keep going. You got anything else you want to just throw in as far as like something you may have coming up, any shows with poetry, anything like that?
No, I'm gonna start my drink business probably in the middle of this month, July. I'm gonna start back, and this time I'm gonna be way more consistent. Like, I was consistent the last few months, but you know, I was in the process of moving and stuff, so you know, I had to kind of step back. But I'm coming back, and this time when I come back, it's gonna definitely every month, every single weekend. So.
And Demo gonna throw the social media in there for your drink and everything.
And then if anybody needs me to cater, I'm here. Like, I am willing to cater. And yeah, just let me know.
Got you. Y'all got anything else?
I'm good.
We could definitely keep going with this all day.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, that's what we come here for. These type of conversations, we love and we enjoy these type of conversations. You really taught me something today. This whole time, I was thinking this nigga Fidel was fucking Italian, bro. I heard that somewhere. Was that a conspiracy theory or something? I'm never wrong about these types of things. Bro.
You're wrong today,
I'm wrong today. Look at you. You love that
I'm
shit.
happy.
That shit is so crazy. I don't know. But anyway, you educated us and we truly appreciate everything, allowing us to step into that. And I know your family on both sides will be extremely proud of the way you demonstrated that and the way you put that out there today. Listen, man, look, this is the ChoppedByT podcast, where we get real, raw, authentic barbershop conversations. Until next time.